All right, I want to thank you all for coming to the Midnight's VIP experience and the Acoustic Soundcheck. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim and Tyler.
Where else can you hear two people simultaneously say, "What's vagina?" We're going to serenade you, sounding our Fungal style with our singing routines. Everything is clear and real. You mirror the coast highway, golden hour. Nothing was lost. Everything is clear when I tell you the story, the bloody portraits, and the walls of former lovers gone. And nothing was lost. You'll always be a part of me. You gave me a song to sing that's innocent and true. Elvis taps on your shoulder, we know better when we're old. You'll always be a part of me. Songs will always stay forever in the phone. Barely 22. Summer days are growing colder. We know better when we're old. All of this was planned when the world started. The red blood hearts, final word was never said. I'm tossing my bed. Everything was clear and real. You know nothing is left. The lights of the evening round shine, pink and silver sky. You'll always be a part of me. You gave me a song to sing that's innocent and true. Elvis tapped on your shoulder, we know better when we're old. You'll always be a part of me. You gave me a song to sing that's innocent and true. Summer days are growing colder, we know better when we're old. Thank you very much. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Who lives here in like the San Diego area? Excellent. Lucky you. Who traveled here from far away?
Omaha.
Brooklyn. What part of Brooklyn? Right on, man. I lived right like Union and 5th.
Yeah, dude, right around the corner.
Yeah, man. Connecticut. I recognize you. It's been a while. How you been?
Alright, how you guys doing?
Great.
There you go.
Okay, we got Brooklyn, we got Connecticut. Can anybody beat that?
Omaha, I'm in the middle.
Omaha, that's a long way. I like Omaha.
You got to come back.
To Omaha this time. But we'll be back. We like Omaha.
I will buy you guys dinner if you save me the travel funds. I will take the whole band out to eat just so I don't have to fly. I will take you guys out to eat, the whole band.
I love it.
I'll cover it.
Some amazing breakfast spots. A surprising amount of breakfast spots for it's a big small town.
Mm-hmm.
You can stay at his house.
What's that?
You can stay at his house, too.
Yeah.
We can stay at his house. That would definitely. Our tour budget is getting knocked down by the minute. Fun fact: our bus broke down on its way to us, and then the backup bus broke down on its way to us. So we've been doing this tour in a Sprinter van and airplanes. So. Yeah, which is why we look very spry.
You're doing great.
Thank you very much. This is the first song Tim and I ever wrote together. Marcy, how you been doing? Yeah, you got yeah.
This is mine.
Mr. Omaha, what's your name?
John. I'm John.
Wait, you were there the other night, weren't you?
At Palladium. Yeah.
This guy. This guy.
And I'll be in Kansas City too.
Oh
So.
my God.
So, first off, I'll see you guys live 6 times this year, and with your new album, I want to thank you guys for the best year of my life.
Oh my God.
Seeing you guys with your new music, I can't thank you enough. And I want you to know the Hollywood Palladium show was one of the best live shows I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh, thank
We
you.
had so much fun. That was a special night for us.
And you guys have such a special lineup now when you guys are touring. The energy is just incredible.
We feel very grateful. It's way more fun to be in a rock band.
It is. But my question is, I always like behind the scenes stuff. So I'm wondering, like, when you guys are putting an album together and you have so many tracks, but you can only put them on the album, when there's just 2 of you, is there ever a conflict where one's like, this one's got to go on the album, and the other one's like, it doesn't fit? And how do you solve it when there's just 2 of you? What makes it?
Beat him up.
It usually resorts to violence.
A lot of screaming and a lot of yelling. No, it's really waves don't tend to run super high. Like we might have like stronger opinions about some things, but I think we also there's fights that we believe in, and there's fights that like, oh, you know what, I'll let you have it. Like I feel like we sense when someone wants to veto something, it's like for a reason, and we go with that. There's usually a higher reason for that. That's been my experience.
Yeah, I think the Midnight exists in both of our blind spots in a productive kind of way that neither of us kind of knows exactly what the thing is. But I will say this album we wrote a lot more songs for that didn't make it, and that's the first time that's ever happened.
Are we getting an extended cut in a year? Or?
Oh, that'd be interesting. No, we'll probably put out a new record there.
That would be so interesting. No.
Now, how does that?
It was more of a case of having the luxury of time to really dig into what we wanted this album to be, and then writing a lot of songs, having an initial idea, and then it took us on a journey, and we went on this journey, the creative journey, to figure out really, you know, it's all about cut away all the things that doesn't feel like the album. What is it? The clay sculpture. Someone asked, "How do you do it?" He said, "I just cut away the things that doesn't look like a statue," or whatever he said. Anything that doesn't look like a horse, I just cut it away, and then you're left with the horse.
So when
But
you
that's
have
the challenge.
when you have a lot of tracks left over, do you actually try to put that forward in a new album, or are you like when a new album's come around where you're like, no, I'm in a different place now, none of that?
I think this time around there were probably 10 tracks kind of laying in various stages of doneness. So some of those will become the next record, whatever that mythical thing is that we haven't done yet. And some of it will probably come back on the 10th anniversary of Heroes or something
Yeah,
like that.
and a little bookmark on that one is also, you know, Energy Number Photograph, the second to last song on this album, was done in 2016. So that was one of those that we wrote it, we were like, this is great, we know what it is. Didn't feel right on Nocturnal, didn't feel right on Kids, on Monsters, but it felt right here. There was a sort of a maturity to it that we felt like that'll find its home when the time is right. So usually kind of Lost Boy, we wrote it for 2015, pulled it out of the dusty, I shook all the dust up. What are you? I'm still alive. Anyone got some more?
Yeah, yes.
So I also have to echo Omaha's sentiments in the fact that your music has been amazing since the very beginning.
Thank you.
And then it's part of the reason why I love following you guys around. But speaking of progression, from where you were at the beginning to where you are now, and especially these last 3 albums, are kind of like the ending of a trilogy, right?
Yeah.
So what's next? Is there an idea? Is there something that you want to explore more of?
So I view the Kids trilogy as kind of a prequel to everything that we've done. It's kind of us going back and going, well, what kind of sonic territory, what kind of songwriting? Like we wanted to kind of expand the garden as big as we could to go, okay, that's what the Midnight is. Now let's begin Days of Thunder. I think the Kids trilogy is the parent's story, and the current day starts at Days of Thunder. It just conceptually, that helps me think about it.
And this is how this works. Tyler said this theory to me the other day. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, let's go with that. Tyler will have much cooler ideas and be like, absolutely, I subscribe to that. How long
I feel like we didn't answer your question. Yes, what's up?
So now I'm curious because you went from 80s, you're progressing into more 90s. Are we going to get more early 2000s sound?
It really depends on what we're listening to at the time.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't think we're so dogmatic and, you know, we're not writing things for the history books and being super specific. It's more about what feels right for the story, sonically, what do we want to say.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of everything.
We kind of view the Midnight as kind of a time machine from another dimension, and being syncretistic, like just throwing elements together, feels like the right way to do things. And so to overthink the production of, well, they're going into the early 2000s now. We might, you know, there will be elements of that, but I think it's less of that and more of what Tim feels like working on.
See? Finally you get it. No, no, I think it would feel maybe a bit too constrictive if we were like, well, then we gotta do the next one. We have to do 2017 sounding songs. It doesn't matter. We're just doing music, and so there'll always be a lot of throwback, whether it's 80s, 90s, 2000s, 70s.
Yeah.
The 1940s synthwave albums. It's gonna happen.
The big band. You asked what was next. I'll tell you the synthwave record that I want to hear is like Kavinsky and Diplo and all of these artists that kind of brought synthwave to bear in the
These are fighting words.
It all came from Bloghouse. Synthwave has as much to do with hipster runoff as it does to do with John Carpenter. And none of you guys know what hipster runoff is. And I want to hear the dance record. That's what I want to hear. Yeah.
You can meet Tyler in the parking lot after the show and fight him.
Yeah.
It actually has to do with kind of what you guys are going into just now.
Yeah.
More of an observation how I think synthwave has an inherent danger of becoming stale.
Mhm.
A lot of people tend to
Yes.
do the same sound. And I've always appreciated how from day one you guys have continued to evolve your music and you're not stuck in the same genre. Heroes is wildly different from your earlier stuff. I actually really appreciate that.
Thank you for being the one that appreciates that.
There's the one guy who likes it. Thank you. That means a lot.
I always amp myself up before I go to the show.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Is that a Shadows of the City tattoo?
Almost. So I saw your tattoo the last tour you guys went to, and I really appreciate it. Oh. Similar.
What does it say?
Sky.
Fire in
Fire
the
in the
sky.
If we put our arms together, we would become invincible.
A lyric video. That's amazing. That's very cool.
Yeah. Who else has a
And
question?
thank you. And on that note, like it's pissed the purists off, but it's important for us to kind of expand our little garden so that we can come back in moments and keep digging in areas. Right now, it feels like we're still expanding.
I think it's important to remember it's always going to be something at home we can return to, but it's important to keep it fresh for us. And I think synthwave can run the risk of the dubstep world where everything became so dogmatic and rule-based and bro-y and everything's about what dropping. I care less about the genre and more about how it makes me feel.
Well, it also would have felt disingenuous to kind of, you know, synthwave cyberpunk utopia in the midst of the pandemic. Like it's just, we needed to write a heartfelt, earnest record to ourselves just to hear it. And a lot of people like just do not have ears for that, and that's okay. You know, maybe they'll enjoy the next thing.
Yeah.
It's safe to say that not the synthwave you're fan to.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. You had a question.
Yeah, hi, my name's Lindsay. I've been
Hi,
a fan
Lindsay.
of you guys
Hello.
for a really long time. So you guys came out with the acoustic album a while back, and that just like blew our minds, and we love listening to that, especially Comeback Kid. Has that always been something you guys wanted to do, or was that spur of the moment?
It actually was it Justin's idea of management?
Pre-pandemic, Justin and I were talking about getting a small little chamber orchestra together and an acoustic guitar and just doing some stripped down songs. And then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And everything got put on the back burner. But no, the Comeback Kid was arranged by Mina Choi of the Magic Orchestra, and we came into that. I mean, that was just a gift that the universe gave us. That wasn't something that we intended. We wrote the song, but she wrote that arrangement that's just very kind of longing and somber and a moment to kind of, it's a little sacred moment of remembrance. And yeah, we were just delighted to be a part of that collaboration.
Yeah, it really hit us well. While that day in the studio, we were up in the Bay Area for a couple of days and we were recording all those songs, and with the symphony orchestra, and it was hearing that rendition was like, oh, this feels poignant at this moment in time. So it was spring of 2021. So yeah. So
You had a question. Yeah.
Yeah, just as a somewhat aspiring songwriter myself,
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
we're also aspiring
We'll
songwriters.
get there one
We're all
day.
working through it.
Yeah.
You know, this genre also kind of lends itself to like the human ear likes to hear the 1, the 3, 5,
Yeah.
to the 7th, and the that, and you can do that all. And I'm wondering, like, when I'm sitting there and I'm like, this sounds great, 4 chords, 4 on the floor, boom, I've got a song here.
Mm-hmm.
But you really don't.
No, you do. You do.
Wait, I wish you would've told me a song.
Well, I guess
You
what
sing
I'm
it.
wondering is like, what's the inspiration that you all get to break out of that? It's like, oh man, those 4 sound good, those 6 chords sound good, whatever that may be.
Yeah,
I should reuse those 6 chords.
Bring it up another level.
Well, the chord structure is one thing. I mean, we tell this story often, but the first time Tim and I wrote together, he created a loop. The song was "We Move Forward," and he kind of left the room. And I was like, okay, I have a loop. I have an A part. I wrote some verse lyrics with a verse melody, but I need him to make a chorus loop so that I can write the chorus melody, the chorus lyrics. And he was gone, so I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to figure out how to make an A part and a B part on the same chord structure. And as a folk country singer-songwriter type, that was just the hardest thing to crack. But once I wrapped my head around the fact that you can have different melodies on the same chord structure, then anything's possible. And that's really kind of how the Midnight started as a lyrical experiment for me.
It's fun because you're saying things that, this is very specific, I'll make it really fast, but you were saying things that I was thinking about when I first was getting into production, where it's like, can I just come up with like new chords? And the truth is, you don't have to. The chords that exist are great. That's why everyone keeps using them. They're on it, because you can add extensions. It's all about the colors and the extensions, but I think it's more about, I was always trying to switch it up when I first got into production. I was switching up like crazy beats, and I want to get away from the I was like, I was like, what am I doing? And it comes back to simplicity, and then it's more about there's the sound choices and the melody and why the melody goes against the rhythm, or polyrhythms. So it's more zoom out a bit. That it doesn't. It's okay. I keep listen. 90% of the Midnight's chords are the same 3 damn chords, and I love them. That's why I keep using them. The Midnight was my way of breaking out of sort of contemporary mainstream music that I was making for a lot of major artists and stuff at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and I like these 3 chords, and we'll keep using them, and Tyler hasn't stopped so far.
It's all about the necessity of the song. You are a human being, which means you are the universe in microcosm, and you have a story to tell and a song to sing. Just do that and nothing else, and then you'll be fine. And open your mouth and sing. The story's already in there.
And think about why you like those chords. That's what makes you you. If there's something in the feeling from playing those chords, whatever they might be, then there's a reason you keep returning to that story. Other people return to other chords. I would go for other chords maybe. So that's what makes you special, and why no one can do you better than you can. So that's kind of your superpower. So lean into that. You had a question?
So past few years have been rough
Real
go,
absolutely.
and your music has really, I think touched a lot of people and definitely helped me through. I'm curious, how has that experience transformed you as people, and then how does that come out in music?
I think Heroes is kind of the result, exactly that Tyler touched on earlier. We made the record we needed to hear, and I think that to answer your question and speak to what we were talking about with Heroes earlier, this album was very much, the songs are designed to be all sung in a big room full of people at the top of your lungs. The main goal was to invite everyone to the party, to make it a special tastemaker, like only the cool kids are invited to this party, because we're not cool kids ourselves. So inviting everyone to the party, making sure that it felt like an open place where everyone is welcome, and it was what we needed, and we hadn't toured by that time in a while, and we we didn't know whether it was going to come back. So we were really intentional in terms of trying to make an earnest record, like Tyler said, but also a moment, a space, even if we never got to tour with it, which we had a sense we probably would, but making it an open space that everyone was invited to, making it very earnest and something you could just cry and laugh to and have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. Seconded. Yes.
I just wanted to get the opportunity to thank you for going to Mexico a couple time back. And,
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
You made so many friends happy with that.
Thank you. We love Mexico.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we hopefully will be back soon.
Yeah.
Just would love to. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay. We have 2 more questions. Yes.
Since we're in the month of October, can you tell us any ghost experience you guys ever had?
Any ghost experience we've had? Go on, tell me.
Do you have a ghost story, Tim?
I personally don't have, but my aunt experienced some stuff. You have.
I have a ghost story. I moved to Los Angeles in a haunted house in Laurel Canyon, which is it's right above like Sunset Boulevard. You go up into the canyons, and in the '60s, a lot of musicians lived there. The house that I lived in, Fleetwood Mac, John and Christy McVie had lived there. It was totally haunted, and I would just hear pacing outside of my and I don't believe in ghosts, by the way, but I've seen one. But yeah, he would pace outside of or it would pace outside of my bedroom door, blocking me from the bathroom, and I would just be like, do I have to pee that bad? And my roommate would be like, were you in the kitchen sweeping at 5 a.m.? And I'm like, no, I wasn't. But that was when I I got my car shortly after I moved into that house, and back from Georgia, which is where I moved from. And I would just drive down Mulholland Drive all the way to the Pacific Ocean, and that was kind of my early months avoiding the ghosts that lived in my house in Laurel. Yeah.
How long were you in the house for?
About 3-4 months. I moved shortly to Santa Monica, and everything was fine after that. I know. Okay, last question. You had it, yeah. Thank you. You fucking rock. Thank you for being here. This is you are the reason that we are here. So thank you for being here. Would love to. We tried very hard.
We tried.
Got no takers.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, we were contacted by the director of Top Gun Maverick, true story, and we had meetings with them, and we were, obviously would love to be involved, and then I think they switched direction in terms of the sonic, what they were going for, which can happen, and ultimately, so it didn't happen. We did get to see some very rough edits with our songs, the Collateral being played in the bar while Tom Cruise is talking to him. It was surreal, but very special, but director's cut. Make the call, make it happen. Is this Hollywood? So it didn't happen, but yes, ultimately I think they made the right call because it was fantastic, great movie. We would love to. Yes, tell your friends. Thank you so much for coming, everyone.
Yes, indeed.
Appreciate it. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
Tim and Tyler, ladies and gentlemen. We have just under 10 minutes before doors open. If you'd like, now would be a good time to run and grab some merch before the run or before the doors open. If not, enjoy the show.
Thank you.